Hello everybody, welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video. Now this one is a little bit different than our usual type of content, and it kind of came as a surprise to me, I should say, because we actually have our first proper patch notes for Pokemon Unite. I don't know why I didn't expect these to ever exist. I don't know, just something about like Nintendo and like balancing games. Didn't really think it was gonna happen, but it's in Japanese, and it's a little bit confusing. There was some posts on like the Pokemon Unite subreddit about it, but it is incredibly vague. I'm gonna try and break down as much as possible what is actually changing. If you want to have a look at the website yourself, it's in Japanese only. You can translate it and do some translation stuff if you want, but the translation is not perfect, as you will soon see. Also, there's gonna be some parts in this patch note where I have to kind of just shrug and be like, I have no idea what that means, and you will see why, because some of it is just like, on the English translated one, it's like, ability downgraded, and it's like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, a lot of Western players are incredibly confused by the patch notes that we've been receiving. But we'll try and decipher it to some degree. So, the server is going to go down on August 4th, so I mean, it's going down at like 4 PM, which is like a little bit of a weird time. I guess they're going by Japanese time, so that'll be like, well, actually, that doesn't even give a time zone. So, some bug fixes, text correction, some battle balance adjustment, which is going to be like the characters being changed, and then a watching function test release, which I assume is like a spectator mode that you can, I don't know if it's only going to be like the way that League of Legends used to have it, where you could watch high level players how they play. That was like a super useful function that got taken out of League many moons ago. But either that, or it's like you can spectate your friends to see how they're getting on before you play a game with them, or even coaching. Maybe, I have no idea. But so a lot of the characters have been changed up a bit, starting off with Charizard. Not my most favorite character in the world, but regardless, he's getting, so like this, it's stuff like this where I'm gonna have to like, the waiting time on purpose has been shortened, and the effect of the opponent's Pokemon has been strengthened. Yeah, there's a lot of this, and you might think it's because I'm translating from Japanese to English. Trust me, the actual English version is actually worse. It gives less information than that. Fire Punch, the effect of the opponent's Pokemon has been strengthened. So good stuff. Like, basically just Charizard buffs. Daimonji is Fire Blast as well. The waiting time on Fire Blast has been shortened, and the effect on it has been strengthened, so it does more damage and it's a shorter cooldown, I would hope. I have no idea. Talonflame, Acrobat, just increased damage all across the board, which is pretty alright. I think Talonflame is in a weird place where like there's a lot of characters in Pokemon Unite that like you go in, you do damage, and then you wait for your cooldowns to come up, but like Talonflame is completely defenseless in my head. Like, if it goes in, that's it. Like, unless it always uses a Unite move, or like it has to wait a long time before it's able to actually do anything again. Not like a crazy amount of time, but you're sitting there waiting for like 4 seconds plus of just like, I have nothing to offer here. So like damage increase on that is pretty solid. Venusaur as well. Sludge Bomb. Actually, I don't know if it's Sludge Bomb, I can't remember, but increases the amount of damage done to the opponent, strengthens the effect, so probably either a bigger dot or a longer dot on the damage. Also, impact damage does more. I am not sure what that was. Hold on, let me try and figure this out. Oh, Petal Dance. Yeah, it's probably Petal Dance. I guess increases the early game, like damage on Petal Dance. Solar Beam as well, the cooldown has been reduced. I think that's a step in the right direction, but I don't know if it's going to make Venusaur like much better. The Seed Bomb as well increases the amount of damage done to the opponent Pokemon. Like, it's a weird one. I think Venusaur really needed buffs. I would have liked to see more things done to Solar Beam. I think an increased damage, increased width, and then also shorten the cooldown could have made Venusaur like actually decent to some degree. Could have made him like a much longer range, like kind of like Zerath from like League of Legends. In his current state though, even with the shorter cooldown, I mean, I don't know how, if it's a massive cooldown reduction, then you're looking good. But if it's only like 1 or 2 seconds, I don't think that's going to be like a major difference to like how Venusaur is playing out. So I think Fuchi and Sujigiri, I am not sure what either ones of these are. This means like, what, scenic? But I can't find a translation for this. Absol buffs. Oh my god. Regardless of what it is that's being buffed, Absol is getting buffed and not nerfed. Okay, that's an interesting one. Wigglytuff increases HP defense, special defense. Pretty cool. Ofuku slap. So double slap here. Increases the amount of damage and the effect given to the opponent's Pokemon. Increased damage. Very nice. Sing is stronger as well. I thought Sing was pretty strong already, but apparently not. Magical Shine as well. Fixed a bug where some wild Pokemon could not be damaged. So Wigglytuff getting an overall buff as well. She's kind of like, not low tier, but like she's fun. Wigglytuff is fun, don't get me wrong, but not necessarily the strongest Pokemon out there. So getting some buffs there is like pretty decent. I can get behind that. I thought Sing was pretty good. I'll be honest. The movement speed, the length of the sleep, everything about it was pretty alright. Watashi Daga is Eldegoss. So Cotton Guard increases the waiting time on purpose. Increase the waiting time on purpose. And reduce the amount of HP recovery. Okay, so I'm assuming that means increase the cooldown. So that's a nerf. And then reduce the amount of HP recovery. Eldegoss is like an S tier. S, like top tier. Like, you must have this character on your team at all times if you actually want to have a chance of like doing well. So I can understand that. The waiting time on purpose has been shortened. Oh wait, one of the other abilities has actually been. Thing is, dude, as I say, like, this is painful because it's really difficult for me to figure out like what some of these things are. And then the ulti as well. So that's one of the other ones. It's not Cotton Guard. It's Pollen Puff, Cotton's Guard, and Cotton Star, I guess. It must be what it is. But also the ultimate has had its HP recovery reduced as well. So like all across the board, we're getting a nerf for Eldegoss, which if they buff up some of the other supports, or if they're planning on releasing a character that can heal as well, because I think the Eldegoss does have like a necessary position as being like one of the only characters in the game that can heal other people, then we'll see what happens. Ace Burn is actually Cinderace, and it has had its attack ward, it has had Blaze Kick, damage reduced, Faint, has been both the time that you are invincible and also the movement speed increase effect are also both reduced. And then I think that's probably like either the other one you can take that isn't Blaze Kick. Increase the amount of it did increase the amount of damage done to the opponent's Pokemon. So I think Feint Blaze Kick was just too overpowered of a combination. It made people it made Cinderace like just once again like a top tier pick that you just had to have on your team. Very rough. But getting nerfed. Let's see if there's any compensation for other characters, and then if there is, then it's not the end of the world. Gengar is getting like potentially like pretty roughly taken out here. So Shadow Ball has had its damage increased, which is fine because like nobody should take Shadow Ball. It wasn't very good. For Haunting, which is Hex, the amount of damage done to opponent's Pokemon has been reduced, and then also the invincibility frames that you get when you activate it have been reduced as well. So it should hopefully be much easier to catch Gengar in between hexes, but also they do less damage. I don't know how much less damage, and also it might not matter that much because at the end of the day he's still going to be invincible for some frames and he's still going to be like sticking to you really hard. But yeah. Also Dream Eater, which is Dream Pile in this one. I increased the speed of my work, which actually means increases your attack speed after you use Dream Eater. If you wanted to decipher what that means, I increased the speed of my work. Oh, dude. Okay, Zeraora. The amount of damage done on Wild Bolt, I think that's the one that's like Wild Charge for us. and it's a single target one. The amount of damage done to the opponent's Pokemon has been increased. Waiting time has been shortened. I always go Discharge, so yeah, Discharge is just really good. Thunderstorm, the amount of damage done has been reduced. That makes sense, considering for your ulti, for the Unite move for Zeraora is like an 80, if you're attacking a squishy, it's like an 80-90% nuke before you even hit them, just with the ultimate. So yeah, cool. Next up we've got Woo! So Woo is actually Cramorant. Cramorant's Whirlpool, the damage on Whirlpool has been reduced, and also Dive has had the damage increased. I think most people will still probably take Surf instead of Dive. There's not really been much change though. But Whirlpool, I'll admit it, it was like really strong early game. Like that's one of your first ability kind of characters. I mean, if you were actually trying to fight like level 3-ish, Cramorant was like up there with like some of the highest damage output you could possibly have. If you managed to catch somebody with the Whirlwind and then the Whirlpool thing underneath it, it was very big damage. Machamp as well. Cross Chop, the amount of damage done to opponent's Pokemon has been reduced. I don't like personally feel like Cross Chop early game was doing that much like as a starting ability. It's an AoE move though, it can hit like multiple things, so like I guess, sure. In fight, increase the amount of damage done to the opponent's Pokemon. I haven't the foggiest idea what the word in fight means. Like close combat? Is it close combat in close fight combat? I'm trying to think of the logic here, but yeah. So Machamp's had some nerfs as well. Well, actually, if close combat gets buffed, his early game got nerfed, I suppose. I use close combat on Machamp anyway, so like if it gets buffed, then I'm like totally here for it. Lucario as well, Glow Punch. Fix the bug where the attack increased the effect of Glow Punch was also reflected in the normal attack after activation. Just a bug fix. And then for Bone Rush, we also fixed a bug that did not damage surrounding enemies when using the move again. I've experienced that with Bone Rush when playing Lucario, so I could totally get behind that one. But nothing but bug fixes for Lucario. So I think the biggest ones are like, maybe to pay attention to are like how this is going to affect Venusaur, how Venusaur is going to get affected by this one, maybe even like Talonflame, like Charizard I think is kind of a low tier character as well. Absol for sure, because they've had buffs and I already think that Absol is like one of the strongest characters in the game. I don't think this is going to affect how strong and how useful Eldegoss is even a little bit. I think that like it doesn't matter if you like reduce the HP recovery when there's only one character in the game that can actually heal their teammates. It doesn't make a difference. I think that this character is still gonna have a lot of value, even if the numbers are slightly tweaked down. Cinderace, I still think Feint is great, and I still think that like Blaze Kick's like fine. Gengar though, we'll see what happens for sure, because like I think they're trying to make like other builds on him more viable, but like as far as it stands, if you don't go Sludge Bomb Hex, you're like genuinely trolling. Not reportedly trolling, but like going like Dream Eater Shadow Ball, which I did like my first game, it's just terrible. It's just awful. Like it's not great. So like having these buffs to the other potential builds is valuable for sure. I don't know if they're trying to push people out of that build necessarily, because I think like even if there's reduced damage and there's reduced invincibility frames, it's still really strong. But I don't know the numbers, because they haven't given any numbers, so I have to just kind of like maybe attempt to figure out. I don't know, have a clue. But yeah, that's the patch notes for Pokemon Unite. First patch notes, gotta say, off the first impressions, not liking it. Like I was talking about this like yesterday, like, you know, it really, for an 8-year-old that plays Pokemon Unite, like it's not a big deal and it doesn't matter, but like for people like us maybe that play League, and it's not, you don't even have to be like a hardcore like gamer or a hardcore player of the game, but like having even just something like extended tooltips for abilities that tell you like how much damage something actually does, or like how much health every character actually has, or something like that, is so valuable, but it's just information that we don't actually get. And like when it says like, for instance, I'd like to herald back to this. I increased the speed of my work. By how much did you increase the speed of your work? Is this like a 5% attack speed increase? Is it an extra 20%? Like, how big is the buff? Because like you know, it's it's ridiculous. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It's cool that there is patches. I like that they are trying to actually balance the game a bit more. But what am I reading is the main thing. What am I reading? Anyway, have a fantastic day. I'll see you all later on for the actual League of Legends video of the day, which should be a good one. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Dear Lord, what is going on? I think I might. I was planning on doing a tier list after I've given every character like a solid shot, but with these patch notes, I might have to go back and play a couple games of each of these characters that have had some changes to them, and I can make a decision from there. I think like that. I think that'll be a good spot to do it in, because I think like the release game is gonna be maybe a little bit unbalanced until they get like all the players in and they get all that feedback. So as far as I can gauge, this is like patch 1. Like this is the first patch. This is the game now from this point forward. So have a fantastic day. I'll see you all later. Take care. Goodbye.